What's going on, my friends? Chris here. I want to bring you all an update today of Bitcoin. Right now we're sitting at $24,600. We're about flat on the day. What I want to bring you here was Bitcoin from the 1 week time frame all the way down to the 1 hour time frame, and we're also going to get into the DXY and the VIX as well. So if you guys get something from these videos, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. It's always appreciated. Hope you all have a wonderful weekend. Let me know what you got going on this weekend. Hopefully I'm going to get out for a little bit of a hike today, which would be nice. Spend a little bit of time with the family. So as we jump into this, guys, main thing I want to point out here is the resistance area that we're coming up to here. And this is going to be on the weekly time frame. This is going to be our 200-week moving average. And you can see right here, we're running into this resistance. And what we're using is the Lux order block detector. And that's what you're going to see in red here. So this is an area right in this range of about 24.7 all the way up to about that $27,000 that, in my opinion, big players in this space most likely have sell orders in up around this range. I think this is a big area for us to test this 200-week moving average, and this is also coming off of the low of around $15,600. We've essentially just moved straight up here, so we have to be careful, guys. You can see the weekly candle is going to be closing tomorrow, and we're on a little bit lower volume here as we're trying to get up through this 200-week moving average. So that's something to keep an eye on right now. We could see some rejection there, guys. This has been a really big move for Bitcoin, as you can see here. In my opinion, and this is just my opinion, guys, I believe for Bitcoin to get out of this bear market, we're going to need at least a retest of the lows of around that $15,000, $16,000 range. See that hold as support, and then most likely that would show that the bull market's back on. Right now, it's pretty tough to just go from a low all the way straight into starting a new bull market, especially when we have all the macro headwinds that we have going against us right now in the market. So in my opinion, it's still a time to be very safe, very careful. Guys, I have still not entered a position. I'm still waiting for a great opportunity, and for me that would potentially be that back test of the lows, or potentially even one more flush down past those as a fake out and then ripping higher. And that's just me, guys. I want to be cautious. I want to be patient. I'm going to wait for a great retracement before I jump into this market. So just really watch this area here, this 200-week moving average. It's going to be at 24,889. And people have been asking me, they're saying, Chris, are you FOMOing about not being in a position for Bitcoin right now? You know, guys, this position here, or this move, came off the lows. We did not have any trend change, so no, I'm not upset about it. I'm happy for all the people who have made profit off it and are doing well with this. For me, I'm going to wait for a great opportunity, and when I feel comfortable, that's when I'm going to get in the market. Right now, there's a lot of manipulation going on. This still could just be a short squeeze that took place, and they're just, you know, dragging it out a little bit longer than they typically would before they start moving prices back down. And that's something you got to be aware of, guys, because that's what the whales want to do. They want to suck in as much liquidity as possible, make everybody think that the bull market's back on, and then they take that liquidity and they dump it on your face, is essentially what happens. So when we're looking at this up here, guys, keep an eye on this 25,000 or so right here, this order block here. In terms of buying pressure, we want to hold first this 200-day moving average, which is good. We've had a back test off it, and then we move, so we definitely want to hold that area. If that area of 21,467 is broken, we look down to around 18,300 for support, and then it'd be down here more so where I'd be looking at about this 15,000, seeing what type of bullish candlestick pattern we're getting off that, or if we're getting support off that area right now. If we take a look at our MACD, so our MACD here, we have got a bullish cross to the upside, so we do want to keep an eye on that. And that also is up above the 200-day moving average. So that's good. Whenever you see that, guys, that's actually a trading strategy I like to use depending on the time frame. For longs, you want to be up above that 200 moving average and get that MACD cross depending on the time frame, whatever you're using. And then for shorting things, you want to be below that 200 moving average and have a cross, that MACD cross coming from the upside here down up above that zero line. So that's definitely something I want to keep an eye on. But for here on the daily time frame, we do have that confirmation here. We've got the MACD cross, so we're going to have to see if we try to push up higher. In terms of our NSM, and I really like this indicator because it's a little bit tougher. It's kind of like a MACD, but it takes a little bit more to get that cross, and on that we have not gotten our bullish cross yet. So definitely keep an eye on that as well as we get up to these resistance areas. Next is going to be the 4-hour time frame. 4-hour time frame still holding our 200 moving average, which is good, but you can see right in this range here, guys, as we're trying to push back up, this is an area we need to get over top of, and that's going to be $25,300 here. We had a pretty big sell-off, and then we had that V-shape bounce back up, and in my opinion, guys, you'd have to at least come back down, set a higher low, try to find some support before going higher. It's always tough to break a high like we have up here coming from the low. So we had a huge drop here, guys, and as opposed to going up and then setting a higher low and then trying to break it, we've essentially just went straight up here. So in my opinion, if we are going to try to get over top of this level here, we need to pull back, set a higher low, and then try to get up into that range. So you can see the buying pressure there was around 23,564. If we get into the 1 hour time frame, so 1 hour time frame still trading up above our 200 moving average, so that's good here, but you can see all this sell pressure up in this range here, and that's all the way from 25,267 to about that 24,763 is something that we want to keep an eye on here. And then you can see some order blocks down around this range here, guys. Many times when you do get a move back, you'll test this range here, and sometimes you can get a little bounce from that. So some people may have buy orders in that range, but for me, guys, it's just too risky right now. You know, I'm happy for everybody who has caught this move, but I'm not going to jump into this. I'm going to wait for a nice retracement, nice reaction, and then I'm going to look for those confirmation signs. And that's just me. You guys do whatever you want to do. We've talked about dollar cost averaging for a long time and how that's a great strategy. No problem with that at some of these lower levels. But for me, guys, it's all about the risk to reward. And for me, I have to be more cautious. I would rather protect the money that I have than try to make more money by chasing prices. That's just how I roll. So next here, what we're going to go to, guys, is the DXY. So we're going to look at the dollar. And what's going to be important is this here. Is Bitcoin's made its run as the dollar was going down here. So the fact that the dollar now has gotten a nice bounce, we've pushed up to the highs, we've set a higher low, we've tried to have that higher high, but we saw some rejection here at this 200-day moving average. So we do have to keep an eye on that. But if the dollar can keep or get moving here, guys, that could put some downward pressure on Bitcoin as well. So we do want to keep an eye on that as we're trying to get this trend change there for the dollar. So keep an eye on that area, and support's going to be around 100, and then that resistance there is going to be around 104.70 is what we got up to. And with the all-time high there recently, or the local top, was around excuse me, 115. Next, we're going to take a look at the VIX. And VIX is one I really like to pay attention to, guys. It's going to be the inverse of all your equities, and for the most part Bitcoin as well. You can see this massive support area, guys. This spans a long time here, and that range goes from about 14, I would say, all the way up to a safe area of about that 18 to 20 range. And right here, we're trying to change the trend as well. So we pushed down to about that 17.08, bounced all the way up to 22. Then we set our higher low here, and this is going to be at 18.16, and now we need to go up and get a higher high. But typically, guys, this can mark when we're down at these lower levels that equities may start rolling over. And then once we get up really high like this, that could show that they may get a bounce. They may start catching a bid. So we're at really low levels right now for the VIX, and it's definitely something that I want to keep an eye on. I still believe there's a lot of complacency. This is down over 42% in the market right now. In my opinion, the Fed is not going to stop with the rate hikes or the increases this year. We may have 2 or 3 more, guys, and then I believe they're going to be holding those rates for a while. So, you know, the market was getting a little ahead of itself, thinking that the cuts are going to come this year, and just my opinion, being a little more conservative, looking at the world, everything that's going on, I don't see how they're going to be able to start cutting rates this year, and that's just my take on it. And if they're not cutting rates, they're not putting that money into the system, and they're actually quantitative tightening and pulling that money out, I don't think it fares well for cryptocurrency or equities. But we're going to have to see, guys. If you get something from this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. God bless you all. Take care.